Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the ESL 1 Cologne European Qualifiers, where 6 teams remain and only 2 will be going on to the LAN finals live from the Cathedral of Counter-Strike, as it's called. I am the Eternal Jan. I'll be covering the EU portion of today's qualifiers, where we've got North, OPTIC, Avangard, and Hellraisers all battling it out to stay alive in the lower bracket in the initial part of our stream. We'll be covering the OPTIC versus North matchup live on the main stream. A Danish duel, if you will, and if you know anything about Danish Counter-Strike, you'll know that Danish matchups tend to be the best of the best. So I'm expecting this to be a close one. In the past, North have been able to take the number, essentially, of OPTIC. When it comes to their map differential, it's 6 wins to 3 wins, favor of North, with 2 best-of-3 series being played out, 1 taken by each of them. And OPTIC took the last series at ESL Pro League. So there is a chance this one could be extremely well thought out. I am expecting it to be a fun one. There's no way I'm going to be missing this. As we get started on Dust 2, which is the pick of the OPTIC boys. I will admit, I think the North kind of won out on the map vetoes here. They've got Dust 2 and Inferno in the map pool, which are pretty competent maps for them. So OPTIC better start showing up and win this first map at the very least. They'll start things off towards the long position here on the T side. The map control being gained, only 1 CT player to try and defend it, and rotations will come in from the short position as OPTIC make their way inland. No casualties, just tag damage being done back and forth between both sides as Nico spots 1 on the backstand. North try and bracket in the T side, but meanwhile the main force of OPTIC have rotated back to B, and the bomb plant will come through. North have players on bomb site, and they're going to hear the rotations coming through. With Snappy just being the main lurker, they should realize that it is a B site push, and they will hold on towards the mid position. Yugi finally opening things up by taking out Nico up towards the barrels, and the rest of the T side quickly crumble around them. Refresh gets a trade frag, but it's a 4 versus 2. They're all going to run through the bottleneck here at the mid doors as Refresh can only get 1 kill, and now it's all left to Config to keep control of the matchup, to keep control of the round. Spotted, tapped up, USPs all facing, triple face, and 1 final frag for AZ, a triple kill for him. The defuse coming in, no, not defuse kit, the diffuser general coming in for North, and they will get the first on the CT board. Nice strategy from OPTIC, but in the end didn't quite work the way that they would have wanted it to. Like the idea of the fake, but in the end the boys over on the North side kind of figured it out. Despite that bomb plant, OPTIC are not going to go for the eco. They're going to be going in with a half buy. Wow, starting off well today on today's stream. A 4 spy for the OPTIC squad. AK's in on 2. Scouts, Deagles for the T side. Kevlar on 3 players with helmets should be able to deal with a lot of the weapons that the North side currently have, but not quite the AUGs in play. AZ, headshot Snappy, instantly takes him down, starting things off once again favor of the CT side. Smokes go up, Molotovs go in, Kiabi falls back of the ramp, but he gets the kill before he falls to 8 HP, and now he can play passively with his teammate on the scout, supporting from this long angle. Will be forced out of position, but AZ also rotating off the position. Good headshot from Config, though, just melts him down at the CT spawn. Valde comes in for the backstab, though, deals with 1. Config also going to end up falling nicely down on the spray. Kiabi, 2k for him and 2k for Valde. And North starting off well on CT side. Need a good CT start as well to get things going here. OPTIC will now be forced down to the deco, and they're still going to make it happen. Good start once again on Valde, just reaching that longhouse quicker than the CT player. 1 man will be held back on the A bomb site. Again, it's Kiabi to defend it. He's got an AK in his hands, though, and backup is quickly coming in. Good nade damage coming through against the T side, and they will get melted down eventually. So nice start with the 1 dig, but that looks to be about as far as they go. Refresh with that AK. Might look to save it. Kiabi denies. Nico and Snappy both back over, up towards Pit. 3 players coming in, and AZ will close out the round for the CT side. So OPTIC now up for the bye here. AKs and AWPs coming in against the AUGs on the same side of the North squad. Much more passive this time from OPTIC. 3 rounds in a row, they've tried to go for the long house and out of long control. And this time they're going to go towards mid and slowly take it with a bit of utility use. Molotov's in smokes up to blind the vision of the north side, so they can't quite peek into mid and get these kills just yet. But AZ will still hold the angle. Against MSL, though, it might be a bit more of a difficult task, or the AUG, and only one bullet can make the difference. For now, OPTIC established their map control. Valde ran onto by Snappy, though. The spray is manic, and they will trade damage back and forth. Overall, Snappy will come out on top, eventually peeking back in to get the kill onto Valde. Trying to go for an aggressive play. Now it's Yugi back on the A-bomb site to defend the initial incoming force. 2 kills to his name, dropping that bomb onto the triple, and Yugi lands them all. Snappy and Refresh, last 2 players left. Refresh spotted, sprayed, and Cade gets away on 1 HP. So the last man standing for OPTIC here on the rifle round, and North have destroyed OPTIC for all intents and purposes. 4 alive, and Yugi in particular with the triple on the AWP. So leave us with a half by now for the OPTIC squad. Standard 4-round starter for the north side. OPTIC hoping to strike back in the next couple of rounds, but for this half by, I imagine it probably won't be the case. The Eagles have landed some very good shots so far, but not converting into rounds, and it's always just been like 1 or 2 kills at best. No manic plays on the half-buys of OPTIC, but Nico will look to try and change that. Tanks and nades straight to the face. He does turn on for the opening kill, Kionfi. Kiabi gets himself a double-man spray down. Snappy returns 5 to 3 versus 3. So if rifles drop to the mid position, they might be able to pick those up. The flashbang comes in through the tunnels, and 2 players make their way out. Deagle from Refresh lands on Gade, and now OPTIC have a clear advantage. Smokes in towards the B doors. Valde cannot get access to the bomb site, at least not easily. You face around when he's trying to deny his bomb plant. He's right there at the very edge of it. Flashbang in. He comes in a little bit too late. Spots 2 though, and just shuts them all down. Triple kill up for Valde. And that'll be the end of it. Defuse will come through, but a lot of damage being done to North in that round. Half buy for OPTIC, and a bomb plant bonus. Another rifle round coming in for the OPTIC squad. AWPs versus AKs. And the double orb setup coming in from North. First time we're seeing it out today, very early on in the broadcast. It's AZ towards mid, and Yugi going to go towards short to try and take a bit more active control against the OPTIC side. Meanwhile, they're going to go right back out towards the longhouse and aggress against the CT forces. Passive positions from North on this long area. They're going to leave OPTIC to their own devices. And OPTIC will back off because of it. A couple players going to rotate out, try to put that AWP back into position. MSL trying to look for the opening frag back on the bomb site. As OPTIC just prod at the North defensive. Molotovs coming through, trying to force out those angles. This time not establishing as much control as they would have liked to. Last rifle round they had short control, long control. This time they've only got the long control. And one lurker back in the tunnels will not see any of the CTs. Might be hearing some information on the players running about on the bomb site, but main area is going to be long. As Config leads his team back up. Great incendiary response from Valde. That nade might do a lot of damage. Not quite as much, but Config tagged to 42 certainly isn't ideal. And Refresh misses the first player. Turns on towards AZ. Quick trade by Valde, but Snappy is quick to respond, and Config turns it to a 4 versus 2. Nicely done from OPTIC, finding all the angles against North. Gade and Yugi, the last 2 players remaining. Looking like they more than likely will save, especially with Nico on the backstab. He'll spot Gade, tap his way and spray on through, and now the AWP left in a 1-on-4. And Yugi's hit some pretty insane shots, but I have my doubts he'll hit it onto every player of OPTIC. And yeah, he also doubts the same, so he'll get out of dodge. Running to mid, player behind him. And MSL will close it out for the team ace for the OPTIC side. First on the board, finally, for the T's. And North do have enough money to invest, but they're going to take a pause. We have seen a number of early pauses over the course of this qualifier. The first time we're taking a look at North on the mainstream, so I can't know if they had the same sort of strategy going into their last few matches in the early couple of rounds of the bracket. I mean, they're going to commit to the bye anyway, but certainly to go back over the last round and figure out what went right for OPTIC, what went wrong for North. The trades weren't quite as good for North, especially considering they were so close to those smokes, couldn't quite catch the advanced angles from OPTIC. That one player that made his way up to the long plant position certainly helped OPTIC, to say the least. Default contact coming in from OPTIC. Will try to get a bit more aggressive towards B. Great nades in. MSL spotted. Does Gade, or did he just get spotted? I don't know. Gade certainly looked onto his position. Like he was going to turn around for that kill. And now Yugi with his AWP will spot them coming out of the tunnels. MSL dead. And now got Refresh to deal with. Flashbangs coming through. Counter flash coming through. And Gade will try and peek up. Look for Refresh around this corner. And he gets the headshot nice and easy. AWP being dropped to 5-on-3. So well coordinated from North to be able to respond off the back of that round, shutting down the tunnel's control. Definitely getting that information on the T-side players, so disallowing any backstab. Now they'll deal with the players towards the short area. AZ with 2 AWP shots on for the triple. Snappy will try and respond, but AZ's got all the control. Headshot will come out. It's a 1 versus 4 still remaining for him, though. And CT's crawling all over the place. The flashes will keep Snappy at bay. The bomb plant could come through, but he's exposed everywhere. Planting for sure. Kiabi denies it, and it will be another response round from the North squad. First contact once again towards long. This time Yugi's going to be the man to win it out, tempting the reface, but a lot of utility coming in from OPTIC. Nades responds back from the CT side. They get a lot of damage done to Refresh and Config, but no more control coming out. Smokes over, and the CTs will siphon off one of the T-side players. They're looking like they're going to swing around that corner and take Refresh down as a result. MSL trying to respond and try and take one of these guys out, but you can see there's a nice big gap for Yugi to work with, and he will double up for the double kill. Another flawless aggressive force from North coming out on top in this case. Nico out of the gate, out of the tunnels. Not expecting Gade on the boost spot. Kiabi will take a lot of damage for it, but playing the bait, he played it perfectly, and he still stays alive. Gade ready, headshot tap, spots Config's gun barrel, knows exactly where the last man is, ready to face out to that left-hand side. Well, Config will take him down, at least stay alive for a moment. OPTIC getting away with a couple of decent kills, and if they can keep the economy limited, then North will have a few issues buying in the next few rounds. For now, Kiabi waiting for backup, finally peeks up over the blue box and takes the bomb planter down. Very simple there from North with how much control that they had, all the damage being posted up by those 3 players with the nades. And again, smokes up, cutting off one of the T-side players. North read that well, got all the info. And turned it to a 5-on-3. And obviously you saw how the rest of that round went. OPTIC going to keep buying back into these rounds. They're obviously on max loss bonus. North are not letting up here as once again they go aggressive towards Longhouse. OPTIC are backing off for this one, but the one player that is in the way will get sprayed to 32. Completely blind and lucky. They have no idea they've done that damage, but it is damage done. Flashes in, smokes over. AZ will isolate Config as he moves forward without any utility support or trade opportunities. Now it's MSL's turn to strike against Kiabi. Will flash him off position potentially? No, he's still waiting back behind the corner. Flashbang in support from his teammate, and Kiabi and Yugi will combine to take out Nico. Very well done. And North are looking like a well-coordinated team. Refresh will catch off AZ, getting a little bit overly aggressive, so that will leave Gade back on the B-bomb site, the only man on the B-bomb site. If they went for it, might be able to find an easy bomb plant. The 3v3 retake might be a bit more difficult, but it is a B-bomb site. Cindy is coming out from Gade, realizing that there are players here trying to stall for time. Snappy can't make his way through that. He's on just 32 points of health, and the flashbangs, the smoke to support it all. Gade is trying to stall for as much time as possible. Awkward flash from Refresh, though. This could give a nice opening for them to take down all three. First man down. Snappy also falls, and the spray connection gets the 3K. Gade looking good as ever, and North are looking flawless in this one. For their map pick, this is looking pretty dire on T side. Once again, down to the Eagle half by. They were able to do some good things with it, but against two AKs, up against the rifles. Is it going to be looking like 9-1? And I'm hoping that OPTIC take a leaf out of North's playbook and go for the tactical pause, because they kind of need it at this stage. Two players down, a third to follow through. Valde eventually gets his headshot on for the triple. Take away by Kiabi with his own double of his own right. Eight-round deficit, OPTIC. A bit dismayed on that T side at the moment. Smokes over, nades up, trying to do early damage. This plays so well from Yugi. And look at Valde, he's so ready for this. Like, he knows that OPTIC are going to go around this corner, dropping the bomb. First man in, the CT's having full control. Molotovs will force him off angle, but he's going to stop them from getting control of this. And they have no idea if he's going to remain, whether there's a second player or not. Kiabi at the edge of this smoke. Watch him push forward and get every frag. Well, he'll get config at the very least. Not quite the second. Nico will trade it to 4v3, but now starts to round that corner, tries to get some sort of A-site control, but North still know that that bomb is there, and they're doing everything they can to stop OPTIC picking it up. They will break forward eventually, and MSL will get it on his back. But still, the man advantage rests to the favor of North. They've got to try and force the issue. So Yugi looks for the AWP towards mid. He may catch off. Vision onto Refresh. Nico almost peeked in as well, so we would have had that information. Well, Gade is certainly going to attempt the refresh as all their attention is drawn towards the mid doors. The spray comes through. It's easy peasy, lemon squeezy for North. And MSL. Trying to look for a trade back, but AZ knows where he is. Jump face and get the information out. Peek back in. Can't land the flick just yet, but second face. Oh, lands the shoulder instead. He knows he's tagged up, though, and he will just use a USP to take the final frag. Once again, a team ace for North. And wow, this is turning out to be quite the stomping. I was not expecting this. I did say that I feel like North had the better veto, getting both Dust 2 and Inferno into this pool, but I didn't think it would be this good. Then again, they have had some pretty notable victories against the likes of FaZe and Avangard. Of course, Avangard taking place in this qualifier. Might be facing them in the next round, so maybe Dusty might go well enough for them. But also a close victory, close loss against NRG at Star Series. So they've got the history. North certainly have the tenure to win out on this map, but I didn't expect it to be this dominant, essentially. A half buy coming in from OPTIC. The Eagles back in once again. Moderate success for these kind of rounds, but they haven't converted them into rounds or done significant damage to the north side, and obviously North's economy's built up at this stage, so damage doesn't mean anything. They've got to get rounds on the board. Scouts up, Gade and AZ with the crossfire. AZ with the AWP, takes the first man down. Gade spotted, will get tagged up a little bit by Refresh, and he tries to fall back in to re-smoke, get himself out of dodge. Teams will fall back over to the lower tunnels and try find a way back into the mid position. And try wrap over too short. Nice nade once again placed. It's not even a surprise at this stage. Flashes over, Yugi back behind over to the ramp area. Deegan from MSL looking good. Can't get his second headshot on Kiabi though. And Yugi will reface as him and Kiabi lock it down. 3 kills once again for the AWPer of North. Ten rounds in deficit for OPTIC. Everyone is having fun on North meanwhile. Oh, lands the shoulder again, MSL. Just can't catch a break. OPTIC. How do you fight your way out of this? I know that their CT side can be quite strong at times. But this is realistically, I'm saying realistically because it is true, could well be a 14-1 half, the way that this is going. Config down, flashing for Kiabi. Catches Snappy, nice and easy once again for the CT side. OPTIC, where do you go from here? This round is almost certainly unrecoverable. They will try for it. Control on short, control on long. So much damage done to MSL. He's going to land some ridiculous shots, and as to his teammates. 3 players to deal with here on the A-bomb site. Flick back, finally. Something going well for OPTIC. Kiabi down. And now flashbangs will allow Nico to get himself in, but he's flashed off by his own teammate. That might cause more problems than it solves. Trade back as the AWP does go falling. A 3 versus 2 as Nico and Refresh make their way inland. AK pick from Gade will deal with the 1 man. It's all left to Nico. Nade straight on towards him. And now suppressed headshot will come through. 1 tap for Gade. The rounds keep on stacking for North. Tactical call by OPTIC once again. What is the mindset of the T side right now? How do you come back from this? Both teams going to challenge for that longhouse control. OPTIC will not make their way inside so quickly this time. North of the native Molotov and throwing every piece of utility down to stop OPTIC from breaking out into long. Cause significant damage as a result. Molotov this time towards short will tag Config and Nico. Finally starting the round off a little bit for North. AWP Yugi just evades the flashbang. The follow-up will catch him, but not before Refresh goes down. So North with a 5-on-4 at 60 seconds left to go on the clock, and Yugi's ready to set up even more. He drops that bomb, looking for the 3K, and he lands it because it's Yugi. 4 kills on the horizon for Yugi. Ace time! Can't flick to it, but Gade will get the final frag. It doesn't matter. Like I said, 14-1 was realistic. Take a look at this at the last round of the half. 3 players stacked up. Tank's going to come through, but Yugi once again opens up with the frag. This refresh is first casualty. Valde going to look around for the reface of the AUG. Flashbangs in, everybody's blind, and they're all getting lined up. That's round over. That's half over. 14-1. You can't get much more one-sided than this. Snappy does his best to go for a clutch of some kind, but just how do you do it? I think the short answer is that you don't. Absolutely dominating from North. I can't really find much else to say, you know, like... It was easy. It was just easy. And again, to stress the situation we're in, OPTIC picked us too. They have had some good CT sides on this map in the past. But this better be the best CT side you've seen ever. Like, ever. Well, both teams going to look to meet each other at the longhouse. Such a contentious position, and finally OPTIC going to start things off with a kill. Snappy with 1 headshot, lines himself up a second, and a triple, kind of stolen away by MSL, but Snappy still takes point, and they all get shut down this time. Finally, some confidence from OPTIC. 3 kills for Snappy, 2 for MSL, and an all-important pistol to keep them up here. Eco for North as they do get shut down. Rushing towards the short position, and Nico's so ready for this. Out towards CT, not seeing the player drop down right in front of him. He'll still deal with Gade. Yugi rounds that corner, taps away with the Glock. Azu will be able to get the kill on MSL back towards Ram, and Snappy also goes down. Config will recover the 3 versus 3, but this could be a bomb plant coming through for the T side, and that might just about be enough at this stage. 2 rifles picked up. Actually, a lot of damage done to Nico, and 2 AUGs on the T side. With Yugi going down, this still might be possible, but they're going to go ahead and commit to the bomb plant, so they will have at least the extra money bonus if this round goes south. It looks like it will, with AZ going down. Kiabi, last man, still back behind. Oh no, oh no, the spray for 2, it's a 1v1. Kiabi still with a chance of clutching this on an eco round. For OPTIC, this would be the biggest disaster in the world, and you just can't catch a break. That's going to be a yikes from me. Ay, ay, ay. Tactical for North, because why not at this stage? Just let it simmer. Just let OPTIC know that this might just be over. The 2 scouts out for the CT forces. North have a Krieg in play. 13 rounds to overtime for OPTIC. I'm not gonna lie, I'm just not seeing it happen. I'm just not. Well, flashes into, well, smokes in towards the short position for the north side. As Config looks for the opener here. Does done a good headshot on Valde, that's alright. Now here comes the firepower base. T-side players into the CT spawn. A little bit of control for Config around that corner. Spot Kiabi, can't land that shot. We'll look back towards that mid position, try and catch off the T-side players as they round that corner. Got Nico also rotating up. Config misses out his chance, and Nico will try to catch to the edge of the smoke. Will tag up AZ. In the end, they will start falling, but now the T-side hit comes out, and they open up the B bomb site. Bomb is isolated for Yugi. I mean, for a moment, he does turn it around and get himself 2 kills. So Snappy left alone. 1 versus 3, it's over. 16-2, my word. I think the worst part about it is that everyone was looking forward to this. Like, this could actually be a pretty decent Danish clash. But clearly Dust 2 was not the appropriate battleground for OPTIC. The Stappy, one last face into the good night. For map 1, it is good night for OPTIC. 16-2.